Support for Canton Network is expanding all across the entire crypto sphere, and I'm as bullish as I ever was. This project is actually holding up really well, considering where we are in a bear market right now, bouncing off the lows that we set in June and not reaching the ones that we set back in January. This thing is holding up really well, and it's only gaining more and more traction. If you guys are new to the channel, my name is Ro. We talk about altcoins, we talk about Bitcoin, we talk about everything crypto here on this channel. So if you like what you see and you're enjoying this type of content, stay until the end, guys, and consider hitting that subscribe button to the Crypto Ro channel. My name is Ro. I've been in crypto since 2017, and I was able to retire at the age of 24 thanks to my trades that I did in crypto just last year. Listen, with that being said, let's get straight into today's video. Now, huge news to start it off here. We have Canton's institutional access expanding, okay? Kraken Insto, the enterprise arm for the Kraken FX exchange, has just announced support for Canton Network's CC in its qualified custody framework. As of now, the biggest institutions using Kraken can hold, trade, and borrow against CC. This might not sound like a big deal, but it has the potential to accelerate the institutional adoption of Canton itself. Basically, guys, what we're seeing is massive retail adoption, not retail, massive institutional grade adoption of the Canton network. And it doesn't have to be retail adoption. All we need, guys, is institutions to hop on and actually start using Canton network, because one thing that Canton network has, that CC has, unlike every other blockchain, is the privacy aspect to it. We saw privacy cryptos take a little bit of a hit just a while ago with Zcash. However, that was fixed, and Zcash, I think, is now fully recovered from it. But Canton has not had a flaw like that, and fingers crossed we don't run into anything like that either. Now, in order to compare Canton, so you guys kind of get a grasp of what it really is, think about Canton Network as a building that has all of its windows kind of barred up, right? Kind of covered up, blacked out curtains, and the only people that are interacting on each floor, they're doing it in separate rooms, right? So Bank A and Bank B are interacting, and only they're able to see their interactions, only they're able to see the transactions, only they're able to see the blockchain kind of history, whereas Bank C, a third party, isn't able to do that. And that is so important for institutions, for these people that are moved, for these legacy institutions that are moving big money every single day. That is such an important thing to have, because client confidentiality is a massive thing. On the other hand, some of these other public blockchains, essentially just like a park in the middle of a busy urban neighborhood, right? Anything that's going on, everyone's able to see it. So kind of want to compare and give you guys a little bit of an understanding of what the difference is between Ethereum and Canton, right? What do both of these kind of trade off, right? So let's take a look on the trade off. This is what it looks like in practice. For Ethereum, any developer can fork Uniswap or integrate Aave without permission, because all code and state are public. The ecosystem includes thousands of protocols built on top of each other. On Canton, composability is real but bounded. Applications must share common synchronization infrastructure for atomic cross-application workflows. Institutions must have a relationship with a Canton service provider. The permission entry point limits who can compose with what. Canton's fee numbers underline how much institutional activity this model is generating. According to Mazari's Q1 2026 State of Blockchain report, Canton generated approximately $193 million in protocol fees in Q1, capturing roughly 42% of all fees tracked across 21 blockchain networks and ranking first. So even though there are small trade-offs here and there, you can see it's still bringing in a massive amount of numbers. In April 2026 alone, Canton generated $66 million in fees, one of the highest monthly figures across major layer 1 networks. Broadridge, Euroclear, HSBC, Bank of America, and Northern Trust all run live applications on the network as of mid-2026, and these are all institutions that move trillions upon trillions of dollars every single year. Now, what does each network actually give up? Ethereum gives up privacy in exchange for permissionless, open composability. Any actor anywhere can read, audit, or build on any contract. This is deliberate design choice that enables DeFi but makes the network unsuitable for most institutional institutional finance workflows, right? Because again, they need privacy. Canton gives up permissionless openness in exchange for selective disclosure and regulatory compliance. Participants must be registered. Infrastructure is operated by Canton service providers, and composability is limited to party sharing synchronization infrastructure. Again, essentially, guys, the people that are in the room that want their information to be shared, that want to be able to see everything that's going on, those are the only ones that are able to see it. Everyone else that's not in the room, that doesn't have a pass, that doesn't have the right to see it, isn't able to, guys. Ethereum and Canton are not racing towards the same goal. Ethereum's open global state model gives developers unrestricted composability at the cost of full transparency, which suits DeFi and permissionless finance. Canton's partition state model gives institutions sub-transaction privacy and compliance-friendly workflows at the cost of permissioned access and a narrower composability surface. Okay, now it doesn't even stop there, guys. There is more that I want to take a look at. Canton developer raises $355 million in round led by A16Z. So who backed this round? A16Z Crypto. The crypto arm of Andreessen Horowitz led the round. The full participant list spans banks, exchange, asset managers, market makers, and crypto native funds. Many of these names are not just investors. Broadridge already runs more than $8 trillion in monthly repo volume on the Canton infrastructure, and several other participants are active builders on the network. So why are these institutions, why are they coming and flocking into Canton? Well, because, guys, it's purpose built for institutional finance. Its core differentiator is sub-transaction privacy with composability, meaning institutions can share the same infrastructure while keeping sensitive data private and also compliant. That design solves a lot of problems that fully transparent public blockchains simply cannot. Banks and trading firms need confidentiality to operate. The approach has critics in crypto circles who view institutional grade controls as a departure from open blockchain principles, but the traction is hard to argue with. Visa joined Canton as a super validator in March 2026 and later added the network to its stablecoin settlement pilot. Major institutions including Goldman Sachs, BNY Mellon, Deutsche Börse have also piloted the network. Crazy stuff. The raise also caps a steer funding climb. Digital Asset, founded in 2014, raised $135 million in June and another $50 million in December 2025 from backers including BNY Mellon, NASDAQ, and iCapital. Growing from these rounds to $355 million, a $2 billion valuation in under a year, signals how quickly institutional appetite has hardened for Canton. Now, listen, guys, a lot of things coming down the pipeline for Canton. You do not want to miss out on buying into this project and getting good entries in. If you want to know exactly when I buy into some of these projects, which again, Canton is a bag that we hold, join the Inner Circle, my private Discord community where you get access to my buy, my sell alerts, exclusive hours of content that you can't find on YouTube, how to find these gems for yourself, as well as weekly live streams and access to me 24/7. We go live, we do coaching, we have weekly live streams inside of this every single Wednesday. If that is something you want to be a part of, click the link down below and join the Inner Circle. If you use the code 25 off at checkout, guess what? You get 25% off. Canton is actually holding up really, really well, guys, considering where we are in the market. Like I was saying, in the last month, actually up 2.89%. If we take a look at this chart here, boom, we're at levels around February, right? After we did have a little bit of a pump because the low for Canton actually came around January time. And from all-time highs, I really and truly want to say, guys, we're only down about 17%. So not too bad at all. If you guys went on to enjoy this video, just remember, guys, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm only here to talk about cryptos that I like and that I hold. But if you guys want to be a part of my inner trading circle, join the Inner Circle, link down below. I'll see you guys inside. Thanks for watching. God bless you. Jesus loves you. Take care, y'all. Peace out.